I hear so many horror stories about Transport for London and what they get up to, their general antics. I had an email through which was titled pretty much the same thing as this video is TFL tried to arrest me. In fact, this lady that's emailed me was, messaging in about her daughter, and she wanted to know if anyone else had experienced the same, which I'm about to relay to you. If you think TFL aren't fit for purpose and really need to give their heads a wobble, subscribe to the channel. Let me know. You'll be among other people that think the same. Now, listen to this. Right. Hi, Andy. Hope you're well. Just to say thank you for all your helpful insights and YouTube videos, which I often share on the Greenwich community Facebook groups. I'm writing following an incident that happened to my daughter involving TFL staff at St Pancras Station yesterday, 21st of February, who were operating spot checks on commuters exiting the station. This occurred just before 9 a.m. My daughter, who I won't name, fair enough, I wouldn't have named her either, was heading into work after visiting her boyfriend. She travelled as usual from the train station and downloaded her prepaid ticket onto her phone. She had a heavy suitcase on wheels and a backpack for her work laptop, etc. She had to use the lift at the station. As there is no scanner when using the lift, she did as usual and boarded the train, ready to scan out at the other end, which usually isn't a problem. On reaching St Pancras, she saw that the scanners had all been taped over and staff were asking commuters to scan out on handheld scanners with TFL staff. My daughter opened the ticket on her phone and scanned. She went to leave but was told by a female member of staff to stand to the side. When my daughter asked what the problem was, the woman repeated, "Stand to the side." This is where the nightmare began. Questions included, what was her reason for visiting? Where had she travelled from? My daughter continued to repeat how she had to use the lift and couldn't scan in, but had her paid ticket. She then asked if she could go, as she was going to be late for work. She was then told that it would not be in her best interest to leave. Right. My daughter then asked if she was under arrest, as she'd need to call someone. The woman then called over a member of Transport Police who asked what the problem was, but did not respond. My daughter then proceeded to call a friend who is actually a Transport Police officer and asked to read out her rights as she could not be legally held. The female member of staff then said to my daughter, "So just tell us where you've really travelled from." By now, my daughter was in tears and 20 minutes late for work. Bear in mind, both my daughters are white British born and bred. I find it unbelievable they had the nerve to ask these questions. My daughter is a very attractive, polite girl and well-dressed young woman. The woman then asked to see all her previous downloaded tickets. She was asked for her address, which my daughter refused to give, but in the end, just to get away. The woman then said, along with 2 other jobs worths, that she could go as they would just check the CCTV to see if she's telling the truth. It gets even more ridiculous. So when one of the male staff asked my daughter to give a description of herself, my daughter stated she was standing in front of him. He said no, he'd prefer if she gave a description. By this time, my daughter had had enough, so said, "Just put me as fat." So when he said no need to get annoyed, she said, "Okay, put me as skinny." Eventually, a police officer came over, looked at her ticket and said, "Oh, yeah, that's okay, just go through." As a parent, no matter how old your children, you just want them to be safe. Well, I can appreciate that very much. TFL are wasting time questioning people like my daughter when there are obviously so many less honest scumbags jumping on and off trains without paying. Just a few weeks ago, I paid to get on a bus that was so packed, the driver was letting passengers on at the exit without saying anything. I feel so disheartened by this country, how they have no respect for people. I'd be interested to hear if anyone else has had a similar situation with TFL staff. Thanks, Andy. An excuse for the long email. I don't care how long emails are if it gets a very valid story and very valid point across. 1, that's disgusting. 2, it's traumatic. I hope your daughter's okay. 3, who the hell do they think they are? A civilian member of TFL staff Surely their remit is only so far. I would be interested to hear what their rights are with regard to what they can and can't ask. Now, you often hear it said London's turning into another country. That sounds like a grilling at passport control if you buggered off to Spain for 2 weeks. It's not great, is it? And I think this bunch of Jobsworths there should, at the very least, be handed a warning at the outside. Sacked. Disgusting. And certainly leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. If you've had that issue yourself, let me know, or leave it in the comments, or drop me an email. Be interested to hear. If you want to see another one of my TFL related videos, you do that one there. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Toodaloo.